Something is about to take place in the White House. I wrote this about 3 days ago. Said, I don't know what it is, but America needs to prepare for it. I believe war because I see helicopters and it looked like a building blew up or something was struck. I saw a dragon and then I saw the White House and I heard foreign policy. So I don't fully know what that means. I just mean something relating to a foreign policy I think is about to be signed. And then I heard we could lose everything. So this sounded like maybe I was hearing like what would be said in the media. Like someone was going to say something about a foreign policy, and then I heard we could lose everything. Like people were saying, like, we could lose everything. Like something was going to be signed or something that was going to cause us to give up our rights, or people was going to be concerned about it and think we're getting ready to lose everything. And I heard economic shift. And it was something that was going to be signed. It kept coming up something like peace. So I don't know if it's like a peace treaty or if it's a peace. Right now I just heard attack. Almost want to say an attack. They're going to sign a deal in the White House. But I still don't know what it's for. And I had heard sequence of events. I saw a lot of fire, and they were trying to put it out with like fire trucks. And it was on the news. And I saw really bad fires. Like, it was so bad it looked like something had blown up. Because I had saw like this yellow and blue, almost like I was seeing something on a radar. Like when it shows like how widespread something went, like a tornado or a hurricane or an explosion. And it looked like it was an explosion. And then it just looked like something just like kept blowing up. I kept seeing it. I also wrote war between this was back in like November or December when I wrote this. I had to go back in my journal and find this, but I think I'd already talked about this in another video, but I just put it here just in case. War between Israel and Gaza heated up, and I saw an explosion. There's a sequence of events I believe that's gonna happen. Something with Israel. Something with a fire. I saw buildings blowing up in this vision. It looked like around the White House. And there was this building that has a round top with a point on it that was highlighted. And I had seen this building several times in other visions. I don't know what it is about this building. I don't know what it means, what's in that building, what it stands for. just feel like it's like a peace treaty or a deal that's about to be signed. And whatever this thing is, I don't think it's good. Because the way it's talked about in a vision, it's as if whatever is in this thing that's getting ready to be signed could cause the U.S. to lose everything. It's as if signing whatever this is giving up some type of right that we have, or I don't know what this thing is. I'm calling it like a peace treaty because it seems like it has something to do with like making peace and then something about a foreign policy. So I guess that means that another country's policy will be put onto the U.S. God is going to remove things, take things out of the place where they're currently standing at and what they're standing on. I believe that the Lord is allowing this thing to happen. This peace treaty or deal or whatever this thing is to be signed. This foreign policy. Then I had a more concerning vision around the same time when I had this vision about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And this is what I saw. I saw a huge winged angel in front of a throne. It was kind of foggy at first to see. And the more I said, why am I seeing it with huge wings so big? And I noticed it was full of eyes as I was saying this. Then I became afraid, and I was so much afraid that I started to tremble. And like an emotion came over me that started to make me like weep, and I became like still because I was afraid. Then I saw a choir in heaven, and I heard it, and there were many white robes. And while I was seeing this vision, it was like I was seeing the vision, but like in my mind, it was coming to me like seraphim. So I went to go look it up. And I saw in heaven a choir, and I was hearing the choir. And there were so many of them, and they were all in white robes. And I believe this was representative of the throne and the glory of God and what's taking place in heaven and what we're preparing for. What is taking place in heaven with the saints, or what will take place in heaven with the saints. Because the book of Revelations talks about us being clothed in white robes, and God's children are the assembly of God. This was a very strong encounter. This is one of the most strongest encounters that I had ever had. Even the day that I had this encounter, I was nearly out with the Lord for probably like 5 or 6 hours. Like I could only come to for like a short period of time, and I kept going back out in visions. And it was like a day when the Lord was speaking very strongly to me about things that were going to come, things that I needed to have in my own life, but also He was preparing me. And I was having all of these visions back to back, and then I went into this encounter. And I believe that we are to be preparing ourselves for our eternal home. Then I saw an assembly of Muslims in a room. This was in another vision I had. This might have been before the vision that I just wrote, or not. I can't remember. But I saw an assembly of Muslims in a room, and someone was in the front, and they said, "This is what we'll do first. First, we'll destroy them. Then we'll destroy the text." They were talking about the Bible. "Our goal is to destroy them, the people, especially the Christians, and then we'll destroy the text," talking about the Bible. Then I saw a man sitting in the audience, and his face was zoomed in on, and he was looking down into his lap with a gray beard that went around with sideburns and a navy blue outfit, and he smirked, and his face was strange, as if he wasn't even fully human, but it was like he was a demon. He started like face shifting, I think is what it's called. Or yeah, he started shape shifting from a man to like a girl who was looking and sounding innocent, then a man evil and smirking like he could become anyone he wanted. So clearly this was like the devil. But in the dream, or this vision actually, because it was a vision, in the vision it was perceived immediately. I was like, okay, it's the Antichrist. So this is really the Antichrist. Like it was almost like I was saying like, oh, okay, so I see what's going on. And it was like, this spirit is in the Arabic nation. It's what they're standing for. Even in Iran and Israel, this is what they're fighting about. Well, I mean, we've seen the videos, but it was like I was discerning this in the vision. And when I saw him face shifting, it was very creepy. I'm telling you, it was the most creepiest. I've seen people for real, in real life. I'm not kidding you. I've seen people shapeshift. I've seen people's faces do some strange stuff. And that's why I don't be kidding when I'm saying, like, I see demons. No, I see demons in people. Like, it's real. Like, they don't even know that I can see their face shifting. But I've seen people's face shift. And I think the reason why he was face shifting in the dream was to show that the spirit of the Antichrist is able to represent itself through many vessels. Mass deception. Mass deception. It represents mass deception. Many people will be deceived. I just hear it. The spirit represents mass deception. I believe it's so mass deception because this thing is going to look and even sound innocent. As innocent as like a little girl. What's going to sound good in this hour is going to be evil. And a lot of what people are going to call evil will be good. This is written in the Word of God. People will call evil good and they'll call good evil. They'll say, you're too harsh. Your message is too harsh. Like, I'm not even just talking about Christians. I'm talking about non-believers will treat Christians this way. They'll say stuff like, we want to embrace love. We want a nation that loves other people. We want to have peace. But really, it's deception. It's deception. Mass. A frog nation. A frog nation. I don't even for sure know what that means. But I know that frogs represent like a deception or a spirit of deceit or lies or schemes. They shouldn't be built up on an antichrist spirit. And people need to prepare themselves. You need to be prepared for this.